What are some... Oh, by the way, hi guys. Random appearance from me. What are some modern things that would make good ancient legends hundreds of years?
And the thumbnail is the elephant fit from Chernobyl.
Yes, that would be a good,
that would be excellent.
Legend.
The only it's because it lasts forever, though.
Yeah.
It's because of how many...
And they're just going to keep having to build more coffins on top of it.
Yeah.
You know, to contain it.
I think that, honestly, I can't think of anything but radiation that will outlast anything that I can think of.
Yeah.
There's very little things that are man-made. The biggest one I can think of that's man-made would probably maybe be like Mount Rushmore. That would be a good one.
Yeah.
I could see that. Like, who were these heroes of the ancient past?
Yeah.
Carved in, like, you know, like almost like a sphinx.
Yeah, well, it's going to be in history.
If it's,
So,
well...
Oh, it's lost.
But the lost history, that's where I'm thinking, let's go for like a post-apocalyptic sort of setting.
Right.
Let's go post-apocalyptic, but or maybe even like during like 10,000 years in the future, where the amount of information we actually have of today's world is so jumbled and lost, and like we're like our modern world is like Egypt.
Yeah.
Let's think of it like that. Like we know very, very little, and this is another big one. CDs and stuff, they don't last. They actually they don't last very long. And same with a lot of like batteries and stuff like that. A lot of
hard drives,
they don't have good lifespans on them. There's a lot of that stuff will not survive. So I look at
but what about like the internet in general?
Look at it even now. Look at how much they've been trying to clean it or sterilize it for years. How much of guys? When was the last time you watched like something or came across an article or read something and you're like, here, that's really sketchy, and then you went to go look for it like 6 months later, cannot be found. What's it going to be like in thousands of years? I don't think it's not going to exist. And what happens when the domains what happens when people stop paying for the site? Even if it's, you know what I mean? Like stuff will just go. Yeah. But yeah, so look, let's jump into this thread. If you guys have any of your own ideas, I think Mount Rushmore would be a great one though.
What heroes of antiquity or false gods will come about from our time? Or what rumours and jokes will become legend and then fact? They say that Roosevelt could not die while he was awake, for the man had the power in his sinews to wrestle death himself.
That's it. Yeah. Well, here, look. I think everyone goes through Roosevelt phase. No, honestly,
not everyone does.
Everyone does go through.
You do.
Like, if there's anyone, if you're
autistic man.
No, everyone loves Roosevelt at some point in their life. He's universally loved. He was a cat. Look, okay.
Autistic man, get into this shit.
Like, I'm sorry.
I don't know much about him. Honestly, not gonna look it up. The only Roosevelt that I love is whenever Robin played him in Night at the Museum. I don't know much about Teddy Roosevelt, to be honest.
All right, okay.
But like Robin Williams is a very good Teddy Roosevelt.
Okay, fair enough. Right, do you want to go for the next one then? I'm not even going to bother trying to argue with you. I'm not even going to argue with. Like, you guys say down below whether or not you went through a third of Roosevelt phase, because I'm guarantee you most people did at least once in their life. The guy was just cool.
Autistic men.
No, not just autismos, Megan. There's loads of us. There's way more. You guys back us up in the comments. Tell the female she's long and she's got puny brains and she doesn't know anything about Roosevelt.
I know I don't.
Yeah, that's why. If you knew more about him, you'd know how cool he was.
And the man they called Hawking was ruined in body, but such was his strength of will and his mastery over the machine that he moved to and fro with his mind and spoke without ever moving his lip, and his voice was cold as marble and as the darkness between stars.
That's good.
That is good.
It's very what would be the right word? Greek tragedy.
Yeah.
You know, I could see that. What would other ones be like? The false god of what was that guy that got done for steroids? The Liver King.
There's probably honestly going to be something about Elon Musk putting the car into space.
Yeah, the man to walk on Mars or something.
No, whenever he put the car into space.
Yeah, I could see that.
I think that's gonna. He drove amongst the stars and stuff.
Yeah, you know? I could see. Or like, you know, maybe the whole thing about Doge. Because honestly, like, guys, I know a lot of you guys are like, James, shut up talking about crypto. I love crypto. I don't care, but I do kind of hate Elon over the whole like Doge thing. It ruined the market, guys. Not gonna lie.
That wee dog not dead? Did he not die?
I think Chems died.
Chems? Who's Chems?
Chems is like the wee stupid dog. You know like the big Giga Doge, and then Chems is like the wee. Chems is a wee sad. Yeah, Giga Doge.
And Chems is a wee sad one.
Yes, Chems is a wee sad one. So yes.
Oh, the wee one like.
Yeah.
That one? Yeah.
Right, just keep going, guys. Okay. Oh, I completely forgot. Paper minis.
Paper minis.
Wait,
yeah,
I
that's
should.
the thing.
Yeah, check that out.
Check out the
We got an ad for that. Look, forget about that. We'll talk about it at the end of the video. We got an ad. Let's just keep going, will we?
The ancients had a multitude of ways of writing other than books. These greater knowledge bricks, for example, are filled with a delicate tape accessed by a flap at the rear. This one was titled Terminator, possibly indicating that it was the last in a series of volumes, and the tape bears marks of wear and scratching, as though a specific part of this brick was used again and again. The greater knowledge brick is possibly an older relative of the lesser knowledge brick, a smaller version that can fit inside the palm and was much thinner. The lesser knowledge brick is thought to be more modern because of its smaller size.
What is it, a cassette tape are they talking?
Tape, yeah. Following trend of the era, a trove of lesser knowledge bricks excavated from a ruin found
marked Aerosmith.
Marked Aerosmith.
I just put that back. Just keep it in there.
These are thought to be instructions for building flying machines. The artisans of these crafts being referred to as aerosmiths. But the set of instructions on the outside of these bricks are highly confusing and bizarre. One set of instructions reads, Aerosmith, get a grip. Step 1, intro. Step 2, eat the rich. Step 3, get a grip. Step 4, fever, blank, blank, blank. Step 7, walk on down. Step 8, shut up and dance. Truly an amazing culture.
I can see that. I'll give you guys one. What about, so let's think of buildings that are all across the world. So like franchises and stuff. Do you think, now eating has always been like a primal thing with humans anyway. Mm-hmm. Like it's a very social thing.
Yeah.
So do you think in the far-flung future we will see the McDonald's arches as like a cult of food? Maybe they
could do.
Did they see them as a shop or as a store, as a kitchen, or do they see them?
The arch is going to be down. Let's say for some reason it runs out of business.
Yeah.
The arch is down and the buildings are just left desolate. But all the buildings are like shaped the same.
Yeah, like a Pizza Hut.
Yeah.
With that lift design.
Yeah, but do you know what I mean? Like a McDonald's design hut.
Yeah.
Like they're all like kind of like shaped the same.
Yeah.
So like would they look at these as like?
Yeah, I think they.
Because churches are all different.
Well, they're different, but they've got a lot of similar ones.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Overall.
Well, they think like this is like a temple of some sort.
Could it be confused
the
as a temple?
Of the arches.
Yeah, I like that one. I think just because it's got a kitchen in it, I think they would realise that no, this is just some form of food establishment. But like,
but we say the kitchen's in it. Maybe it's all ripped apart.
Oh, well, like there's no chance maybe it's just the way. The back of the building's tiled. That's only. I don't know. I think they'll be able to work out there was a kitchen, even if it was ripped apart, like gas lines and stuff underneath the buildings and all that sort of stuff. I think they would work it out. Maybe.
What about like old phones? I'm not on about like smartphones. like
Nokias,
Sony Ericssons.
What are the lifespans on them? My stepdad was he still using the Nokia whenever we were going out?
Yeah, he still had the Nokia.
Yeah, he only went to like a smartphone like in the last like 3 years.
3-4 years. Yeah.
He was using one of those old brick Nokias.
Yeah.
But like honestly, see if you're at our age, I honestly
I don't blame him. Like you know
like,
how
you know how to
that.
Work it. You've got no issue with it. Just keep using it.
Keep it.
You've got no interest.
Keep it. Like what do you think they would be? Some sort of.
Well, I think they would. The problem is, so you don't have phone masts anymore. So the idea of like connecting it, and the other problem is batteries. Can you even work out how to turn the thing on without frying it by mistake?
Yeah.
That's going to be deadly. Like I don't know. The problem is I don't know about lifespans. Like how many buildings do you think in the past 100 years will stand for the next 2000? Like let's think about like Rome. There's a lot of Roman buildings. They're not built to last anymore. We don't build things that have like what is it? Modern concrete I think lasts like 200 years or something
like that. And it constantly has to be like
maintained within reason.
Like how many times do you see like concrete sidewalks and stuff like have to be like constantly maintained?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird one, but look, let's keep going with this thread, will we?
We try to this day to extract data stored on ancient computers of our ancestors. We believe that by entangling all of the atoms in their drives and non-volatile memory storage units, like our memnosis.
That reminds me of how Ozzy says aluminium.
So Ozzy is a new word. Okay, Ozzy, can you say aluminium? No. Say aluminium. Ozzy, say aluminium. Say aluminium.
No.
Can Ozzy say aluminium?
Num, 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 num.
Bye. Say bye-bye. Blow kisses.
It's funny.
We can read the delicate fluctuations of magnetic fields that faded almost to nothing over millennia. Their computers are connected by long copper wires capable of transmitting information over long distance, even across ocean. That they achieved this with such primitive medium is a testament to their ingenuity. Guess you missed this, guys, me talking like this.
Yeah.
They called this network of wires the internet.
Or colloquially.
What?
Colloquially.
Yeah, the web, because of the tangled wires, perhaps. We have ancient documents showing that some of those networked computers were known by name and famous enough that most of humanity desired to connect with them and pursue the knowledge stored on their drives. Do you get it?
Yeah.
One such machine was known as the Porn Hub. Ancient records says it was responsible for a quarter of all traffic. Sadly, we still can't access this data. We don't know what porn was, though a hub defines a centre of activity. An immense library of knowledge, perhaps. Yes, we have a whole list of popular computers written by ancient historian known only by Alexa, an Anglo-Saxon name. Another popular computer, Reddit. Though what the name meant remains a mystery. Channel 4? Are you sure you're not confusing it with television name? Do you get it?
Yeah, I get it. I like that. Honestly, though, see, when you think about it, how much... Let's be serious, who the fuck downloads porn these days? And the only people that do download porn, it's a really sketchy stuff or like really bizarre stuff. You know what I mean? In this day and age. So the chances of what will archaeologists find? Are they going to think that? Well, let's be serious. There's a lot of people already into really fucked up shit in this day and age. So let's be serious. I'd be like, I would almost
imagine trying to explain furries.
Yeah.
And trans.
I think that'll still be a thing. Like, you know, it just won't be as popular.
Everybody is just asexual.
Aliens with big heads.
With both genitalia.
Yeah, I imagine like
yeah,
something like that. Have any of you guys seen that or read that book? All Tomorrow. It's actually really cool. So it is, Megan. It's about so it's in the far flung future, and it's about this group of aliens show up and they enslave humans, and then they genetically engineer humans into all these different like types of.
Was there not a movie like that?
There might have been. I'm not sure, but anyway, in the book. They genetically engineer all these different humans and put them into like different places, and eventually the Quay that enslaved them like just vanish or whatever. I can't remember exactly, it's been a while. But they move out and then they start evolving themselves. It's really weird. It's actually really interesting on evolution and whatnot. It's worth checking out.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's set like in a billion years in the future. It's really interesting though, so it is.
Hey yo guys, cost of living crisis and all that. You don't want to pay for models? Well, we got some paper models.
Which are like a fraction of the price.
Like fraction of the price. And who actually wants to carry about a bunch of goblins? Nobody.
I mean, like, come on. Like, everyone's going to need a bunch of goblins. But how do you carry that? How do you transport that? And if any of you guys have transported models any like the time...
You put it in a Pokemon binder and you take it with you. If you're interested in it, check this video out. It'll explain everything to you. And if you really want to, the link to the Kickstarter's down below and it'll explain it. And if you like it, back it.
Also, we do have some free ones, so you can go ahead, print them out yourself if you like them, you know.
Everybody likes free shit, so just go and try it.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks. Also, and the winner of the daily giveaway is this guy. Yay, woo!
Look, anyway, in for a chance to win, all you gotta do is like, subscribe, leave a comment down below, automatically entered in.
And to claim the prize, you just send an email to neckbeardiacontact@gmail.com. Let's get back to the video. They say that they're tombs, each holding the spirit of a great warrior of the past. When the tribe's need is great enough, this spirit shall erupt from the rusty holding and return to fight inside it.
I like that. I think, you know, it's very 40k, it's very machine spirit. It's very, I think that would work. You know what would be a really interesting one, actually? If you think about it. So how long do you think it's going to be before we have AI within robots, or AI that are like portable that are independent, like on a.
We do your phones.
No, but they're connected to the internet and whatnot. How long do you think it will be before we can have a personal AI per se? Like I could have an AI built onto my computer, for instance, and maybe I could just talk to my computer.
I already have one.
What?
You never fucking stop talking about random shit.
Here, I think I'm interested from time to time. Anyway, back on topic. I'm gonna keep going then with this. Right. So let's say Alexa. Let's say we put Alexa on a talking stone. Let's call it a talking stone. Will people in the far flung future, will this be their only method of connecting with the past per se? Like, let's say it gets like locked out and it hasn't been updated since like 2016 or something, and like it gets turned on and it's like stuck in the past almost.
Yeah.
When people start asking it questions per se.
Yeah.
And it hasn't, it's like, sorry, the last update was on so and so date. I only know up to then. I think there's something you could work with that. I kind of like that, but again, it's kind of like a mass. I think that type of stuff's fascinating. However, will it survive? Who knows? If you think about it, when we look at archaeology, all you really have is like bones and pottery,
and like pottery,
but
and
like,
a few coins.
A lot of things. The problem is pottery wasn't actually as big or half as big as what people think it is. It's just that's what survives. It's just what's left over. Like a good example would be Neanderthals. It's only until recently now we do believe that they had a culture per se, and maybe had some form of spirituality within them. But a lot of their stuff they carved from wood. We have found evidence of them carving stuff with bone, and that has survived, but apparently a lot of it was carved with wood, and because of that we don't know.
Yeah,
like look at
the cave drawings and stuff, like they would last if they weren't flooded.
Yeah, it's hard, like it's getting stuff that will survive, and I think there's almost nothing in our modern world.
Honestly, there's plastic.
Even then, that does degrade. It does degrade. If you leave, look at
I don't know. I think
pegs.
them little fucking tyke cars will be about for.
Oh yeah, tyke cars are definitely.
Little tyke cars will be around for frigging years. Man.
Yeah.
Like, are these their form of transportation?
These are very like Flintstones type
They
shit.
must have been very small.
This is the thing that gets me. A lot of the times, I think whenever we do stuff like this, people will be like, "Oh, that's so unrealistic." Think of how often people confuse like Edwardian, Victorian, Georgian. It all kind of gets mushed together.
Yeah.
Like, look at like whenever people talk about Romans, they also think of like Egyptians as 2000. See the differences in time between a lot of these things. They all just get mushed together.
Yeah.
So like the idea of like, there was probably like horse and cart with like iPhones and shit.
Yeah.
That is probably what's going to happen in the future, though.
Yeah.
And that's going to be considered. Yeah, well, that's what people lived like back then.
If you think, yes, we're in 2023, but we're still on the back, like the front end of like the 20,000.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? We're still very close to the 1900s.
Yeah.
Or if you think, if they know anything about the 1900s, they're going to go back to like pre-war times.
Yeah.
Or war times. They'll mix us all in together.
Well, think about this. A good
Because
example.
look, how different realistically was like 1880 and 1890 to like 1910.
Okay, let's an excellent example. Let's go for someone was born in the year 1900. They were born into a world of empires and global powers.
Mm-hmm.
By the time they're 50, they're in the Cold War with the threat of nuclear disaster, and by the time they're 100, it's Y2K.
Mm-hmm. Like
that's
technological advances that happened within the 1900s
is
immense, and within a very short period of time as well. I may add.
A good example.
1960s, we were on the fucking moon. Well, apparently.
Well, here after the way India did that, I don't know anymore. I got questions.
Well, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, at the end of the 60s, we were on the moon, and 30-40 years later, we're all walking about with phones in our hands.
Alright, well, okay, let's go for this one. I think
on computers.
an excellent example would be, what's the fastest thing on the battlefield during like biblical times? A horse. What's the fastest thing on the battlefield in the American Civil War? Not the War of Independence, the American Civil War. A horse. What's the fastest thing on the battlefield today? Probably like missiles that can like go like Mach 4, or like one of those hypersonic missiles, which are absolutely insane. The rate of change is insane.
I know. Like, look how, I'm sure if you ask like your grannies and stuff, like how amazed they were whenever like the microwave came out.
Oh yeah, here I totally get it now. See, getting an air fryer, I get it. I'm an air fryer guy.
What I mean is that how amazed they were whenever a microwave came out, and then now a microwave now is like
trash.
It's trash.
It's good for some jobs,
but do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the advancements that have came along to like completely overshadow a microwave. For back then, a microwave was like, fuck.
I'll tell you a good one. We went. This was about last year.
Well,
We went to the Ulster Folk and Transport Museum.
yeah.
Oh no, it wasn't the
No,
Ulster.
it was the one in Oma.
Yeah,
The
well,
American.
the American Folk and
Folk Museum.
Folk Museum.
I can't remember.
But it was about like people
Potato famine
and how a
all
lot
that
of people
shit.
moved to America and all that.
Yeah.
But there was a bit in it where they went. They had like a recreation in the back of like Pennsylvania, like
Oh, yeah,
farmland
yeah.
and stuff, and like all the houses you could go into. And we went into one, and they had like a paddle or something. I said to your mom, I was like, "Yo, what's this about?" And she's like, "Why are you asking me? It's like you're old. You can tell us." She's like, "I'm not that old." I was like, "Well, what is it?" It's like, "It's for doing your washing."
She did.
She did know. She did know. She did fucking
And she
know.
walked into houses and she was like, "Oh, my mum had one of those. I remember using that. The metal iron and all. Oh, I had one of them." I'm like, "Mum,
You're not
you're
that.
like 62, 63 at this stage. I can't.
To be fair, I think this is something that I think a lot of Americans won't understand or won't get. You need a... Okay, the best example I ever heard was, see, whenever I was reading an interview, this was a while back, and it was about people that live in North Korea, defectors, or people that have
Yeah.
tourism there, and they say when you go to like one of the more developed places in North Korea, it's like walking into like the year 2000. It's not as advanced as today.
Yeah.
But if you go to somewhere in like the countryside, it's like unironically 1940s. Like you may as well be walking back in time. Or like sometimes you go to places and it's more like the 80s.
Yeah.
Per se. Like if you go to like a large,
Strange.
it's kind of all over the place, and you could say that same with a lot of different countries. Like here, look
yeah.
at a lot of places in Africa. They're going from like essentially stone cavemen.
Yeah.
And they're going right. They're skipping all that type of stuff to living in like 1970s.
Yeah.
Equivalent.
Yeah.
Round and about. It's kind of it's weird when you think about that. Like the rate of change so recently, and also a big one. I think we forget all the time. There's been so many points in human history where people could do stuff so much better than what they could do themselves. Roman roads.
Yeah.
But
we've lost all that. We've lost all the capability to remember how to fucking do that.
Well, yeah, but this is where it gets really interesting. Like, we forget that it's been like 2 steps forward, 1 step back throughout all of human history. We've just kind of been like turbocharging for the past like 300 years forward, and we're just getting better and better and better at it. The idea of, I love this one about like, say Germans. There's these Germans knocking about in the year like 900, and they see all these like crumbling Roman aqueducts. And they're like, wonder what type of giants built these? Because they've got no idea. The comprehension, the idea of like, humans could build these? No way. Don't be
big,
silly.
Great buildings.
What?
Base structures.
That's insane. Let's do it for us even. Megan, what would it be like if someone came to you when What?
Look at us even now with like the pyramids and stuff. We're
Oh,
still
yeah.
debating on how it was fucking built.
Yeah, well, there is some techniques on how what gets me about the pyramids is just their absolute skill.
Aliens is always pushed in there though.
Yeah, aliens is pushed in there. I do believe humans did build the pyramids. I just think it was a mammoth task.
Mammoth.
But I do believe it was humans that built them. But I just think humans had different priorities back then.
Yeah.
You know, you could like see if you had a pharaoh and he
like
had
if you were
absolute
told
gold,
to do something,
you're gonna do
you were
it.
told to do it.
Well, you know what I mean. You can get away with that. But look, let's go for another one. Let's just say, let's say if someone came to us, let's say whenever we were like children, and we're like, oh, by the way, you know, you're gonna have your own personal TV channel when you're older. You're gonna manage a TV channel, which is kind of
essentially what YouTube is. Basically.
Kind of.
Yeah.
It's not far off.
Whoa, just hit my mic. Sorry.
It's in that ballpark.
Yeah.
But even like when we're kids, that's like, whoa, that's like sci-fi stuff. Or like one of the biggest.
Remember having to come bounding into the room and jumping over the sofa whenever the advert like ended.
Oh, see, kids these days, they don't know they're living.
We talked about this the other day.
Like
honestly, they don't know that they're living, that they can just watch like their shows on demand.
Anything they wanted. Like,
we were lucky if we got to watch like our favourite show like once a week, because that's whenever it was on at that certain time, and if you weren't in the house,
tough luck.
Shit.
You know, it's kind of amazing how you think, like, you know, how fast it's moving at this pace. You know, it's I don't know. But I think, will we wrap up here, or do you want to do 1 or 2 more? I think we'll wrap up, so we will.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any other ideas for, like, what do you think will be seen as mythical in the future. I think Mount Rushmore is a perfect one. I think that will survive. I can't think of many other things. Statue of Liberty could survive for a very...
Tower, I think it would collapse very easy.
Probably will collapse. There's so few things. Maybe like
Leaning Tower Pisa, it's gonna fall over.
Well, here, that's been stand for a long time. I'll give it that. What about have you ever seen them giant Russian war memorials?
Oh,
like
yeah.
the huge statues. Maybe they might survive.
Graveyard.
Oh, great. Well, they'll probably survive.
Yeah, but will they know? Because whenever my mum passed away, we were talking to the girl who was helping us plan the funeral, and my mum wanted a cremation, and we said to her about a cremation. She was like, they're getting really popular now, and we said, why? She says, there's no plots left. No plots left. Like, when is the point that there's just going to be none left, and it's going to have to be cremation, or is there going to be another alternative of body disposal? And then you're left with these ancient graveyards with the everything, like no engravings, because they're all eroded away. And are they going to know what the fuck this is about?
Are they just going to build
dig it up?
Are they just going to build?
But by that stage, will the bones, you know what I mean?
There might be. The bones will still exist.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The bones will still be there.
Yeah.
But the chances of them just building on top are pretty high.
Yeah. But will they know?
Here, did they not do that? That was a thing a few years back where they were building like a car park or something, I believe, and they found the burial site of one of a king. I can't remember. It was like an English king. I can't remember who it was, but it was like War of the Loses, so it wasn't like ancient history. No. That's like
400 years.
It was
500?
700 in and around 700-800 years.
Like fucking tens of thousands ago.
Yeah, it's not like it's still within.
Still in a part of history that we know of.
Yeah.
So how long is it going to be until the graveyards are forgotten?
I don't know.
There's only so much land and so much plot that you can physically give to graveyards.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I really like the ones where
and then even then, let's say urns stuff with ashes on it.
We're going
Imagine if they find that, they're like, what the fuck is this?
No, I think they will know, because people have been buried forever.
Yeah, but maybe not. Maybe it's going to be a completely different point in time.
I think
maybe there's a completely different way of a body disposal. Maybe it's not cremation. Maybe it's something else.
Oh yeah. Well, here, will they look at it?
Vaporizing? Who fucking knows?
Will they look at our burials similar to the way we look at mummies today?
Yeah.
That would be a good one, actually. I think. Yeah. Maybe.
Everybody standing around a box and watching it lower into the ground. Are they going to find that really primitive?
Are they going to be like, oh, that's very strange, I don't like that?
Or are they going to find the burning of a body, like a cremation, barbaric?
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. I've never thought about that. Or what other customs of today will be seen?
Look at how the Vikings put them on like a boat, put them out, set them on fire with an arrow. Are they going to look at cremations like that?
You know what?
Like the ones who were cremated, who was set on fire, maybe they were warriors.
That's a good one. Oh, I've got a better one. So let's say stuff is preserved. What aspects of our present day culture will be seen in a very negative light? So for instance, if you go back any point in human history, slavery exists and everyone just kind of accepted it as that's just part of normal life. There wasn't really a big moral...
But I do think that in thousands and thousands of years, slavery will probably still be a thing. It'll probably be an even bigger thing.
Well, AI be considered slavery?
Who knows?
Well, if AI can
sentient, who knows?
I think therefore I am.
Also,
this is turning very Black Mirror, by the way.
Very Black Mirror, but also, how far is it going to go to where the future people or race or aliens, whoever the fuck they are, how far is it going to go until they are considered not human anymore?
Yeah, that's a good point, actually.
They,
Will we be seen as Homo sapien?
Will autism take over? As in, no, realistically, now that I'm looking into, nurseries and schools for Aussie, every fucking child appears to have fucking autism. Or Aussie isn't.
No, he's far too social.
Far too social to have autism. But every other child that I know of seems to have fucking autism. Is this an evolutionary standpoint? Who fucking knows? Are they all going to have autism and not being able to read emotions, have emotions, be able to is there going to be something else?
That's a good point. Well, let's be serious. It's a social thing. Most people with autism have a hard time interacting with people and like to reproduce.
When does there come a time that technology takes over and there is no social interaction?
Well, we're kind of getting there, aren't we,
Yeah,
with the internet?
that's what I'm on about.
Yeah.
Or is this going to be considered a dark part of our past that people are so indented online
Yeah.
that there
Will
was
we-
no social?
Will we even survive? How long will...
How long will it until women don't want kids at all?
Yeah. Well, no, I think it's biologically driven. I think...
I don't know, the numbers are rising.
There is... Yeah, it's...
This sounds like a Gumroad video.
As it's starting to turn into a Gumroad video, guys. Look, I think we're going to stop there, so we will. I don't know where else to go, but I think there will be. All I'm going to say is there's one type of surgery that's really preferred today, which is a bit of a hot topic one, which I think will be seen as, like, we see lobotomies today. Just putting that out there.
Yes, I do think that. Also, and if you want to know more, go on Gumroad.
yeah, I wouldn't talk about it here, but you know, you guys should check out Gumroad. Also, we got a Paper Minis book.
Yes.
Check it out, guys. If it's something you're interested in, it's really cheap.
It's a Kickstarter, by the way. You
So-
can back it. Go on, have a look. There is a free download that you can take, and you can have a wee
nosy.
at, see
If
you
it's
like
something
it.
you're interested in, go ahead, check it out. It's really cheap, so it is, by the way. So I think it's something. If you play games IRL and you want to have
I
more
think it's
models
really
on the
good for
table,
DMs.
Yeah.
You know, to be able to have that option of slapping something down the table.
Yeah,
Do you know
like
what I mean?
I've started. So I went ahead and bought a binder. So I did.
It like you know, like the ones that you had for your Pokemon cards.
Yeah,
like the
all that
card
sort of
slot
stuff.
binders. One of those that you put all the minis into, the paper minis into, and it's so easy to carry about with you. It
Yeah.
is a very good option for DMs, especially if you play IRL.
Yeah.
You can put something down the table, and you're not having to do thingy of the mind.
Yeah,
whatever It
exactly.
is.
Like, you know, I think it's pretty cool.
Theatre of the mind.
Also, if you don't really want to pay for the full book and you don't want to pay for the shipping and all that, there is a digital download which you can then go ahead and just
Print it out
out
yourself on
And-
whatever type of card that you want or whatever.
Well, I'll put it like this: all the promo pictures that we have are all done by just normal home
paper,
home computer,
like printed
like
paper,
printers.
just normal paper.
So,
But
and I think they look pretty good, so
Yeah.
I'm happy with them.
yeah, but if you get the PDF and you want higher quality, you can do that yourself.
Yeah.
So it's up to you.
Anything else? No.
No,
Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Hopefully Megan might be back next week.
Maybe.
We did, actually, me and Garbo unironically did record this video, but the audio got fucking mangled. Like,
that's
it got
what
cooked.
happens whenever you record with a man from CANT,
Why?
because it's CANT.
It's just... tell, you know what, before we go, Megan had a dream about Garbo this
Oh my
week.
god, this week?
Did you have another one?
This was like 10 years ago.
What? No, it wasn't that long ago. The dream you had about Garbo.
What one?
Where we went away. So Megan had a dream. I always think this one's
I
really
have
funny.
dreams. Is it the one at his house?
Yes, okay, so do you want me to tell the story?
Yeah.
So we get on a plane and we fly to America and we go and Garbu picks us up from the airport. What does he go and pick us up in?
Oh yeah, in like one of those old timey like wagons. As
So,
in,
like, you remember-
you know, like the hooded wagons, like
Like-
it's a horse and cart wagon, but with like the hood, like the old
Like the
time-
white.
Yeah, like the white hood you see in
Linen.
cowboy and Indians movies like them.
Yeah, Garbu is driving one of them and he picks us up, so he does.
And we're in the back and we're going over it. Now it reminds me of, if you ever played it, Red Dead Redemption, whenever you're going from Blackwater to Armadillo and you have to go over all the mountains, and that's the road that it reminded me of. And there was a bobcat or something.
Yeah.
And was stopped, and Garbro let us look at the bobcat. And then we drove on.
Well, we clipped on.
Clipped on.
And then what happened when we got to his house?
I can't remember.
There was a pizza on his house.
There was pizza on his house because he told me not long before that he flung a pizza onto his wrist. And there was no electric or
It was something like that. He was like
It was
living
like
in
oil
1800s.
lamps
Yeah, oil
in this
lamps.
shack in the middle of like a desert cowboy land.
He lives in the Midwest.
I know he does.
It's like farmland.
I know.
It's not even like...
But this is just what I thought, and then he came out with guns
Yeah.
or something. I can't remember.
What, did we just shit some tin cans out his back?
No. I remember feeding his horse.
Aye.
But no, something happened, and he came out with like dual wielding guns, and we were like running around his house, shooting things.
Yeah, Garbu didn't think that story was very funny at all. He's like, is this what you think of me?
Yes.
Yeah, kind of, Garbu, I'm sorry. Right, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Check all the links down below. It helps us out a lot. And also, like, you know, if the paper minis do well, we'll do more like them in the future. This is just a big test, essentially. But look, see you guys, bye.
Bye.
All those moments will be lost in time.